Friends, guests, and adventurers of all ages, tonight's show is for the brave, the fearless, and the dangerously curious. Witness feats of strength, daring acrobatics, and mystifying magic. Get ready to have the most astounding night of your life. Welcome to the Circus of Wayward Wonders. Welcome to Roll for Combat, Three-Ring Adventure.
Hey everyone, welcome to Roll for Combat, Three-Ring Adventure. I'm your GM and host, Stephen Glicker, and in this week's episode, they finally put on the actual circus itself. Will the animals get loose? Will the tent collapse? Will everything go perfectly fine? Find out this week. So one thing I want to talk about is metagaming, or in the old days, we used to call that cheating. Well, what exactly is metagaming? Because it comes up quite a bit in this week's episode. And metagaming is really, very simply, you as a player knowing the rules and how to maximize those rules versus the PC or the player characters in the game itself. And people have been doing this since the dawn of time. And this comes up this week because the rules for the circus are very strange. The rules is that if you match the excitement and the anticipation to exactly the same number, you get a double payout. Which means if you're supposed to get 20 gold, you instead get 40 gold. Now, of course, who wouldn't want to do that? The thing is, it gets weird because, well, what happens if you go higher and the excitement is over the anticipation? Well, you don't get double gold. And that seems strange because if you match the excitement to the anticipation and you're only like 70% done with the circus, what do? Do you just tank the rest of the acts? Do you just not put anything on? Do you just give up? And the answer is, unfortunately, the way they wrote this system, yes, is that you should just don't do the show. The show does not go on. And that is really, in my mind, kind of unacceptable. That is not realistic in terms of a role-playing mechanic. You're not going to have 4 acts go out and then you say, okay, that's it. The next 3 acts can go home. Thanks for enjoying the circus. You guys all loved it. I'm not allowing that. So this week, I'm allowing the system to run on its own so we get an idea of how it's supposed to run. Because one thing that happens in these mini games that Paizo creates for their adventure path is that they don't always play test them to the most strenuous levels, let's just say. This was a big issue with the mass combat rules, which was in a past adventure path, and they completely redid the mass combat rules because the rules didn't exactly fit, they didn't exactly work. And another example, believe it or not, almost everyone has done this one, or a lot of people have, is Kingmaker. Kingmaker had way more kingdom building rules, but they couldn't fit them all in because of page count. So if you actually went to the Paizo.com forums, you can get more things to add to the kingdom building aspect of that adventure. So that's something else, is that they don't always have enough room. And I actually spoke to the editors, and I know there was more for this circus building than they were able to fit. So one thing they do actually say right in the rules is that you as a GM can add more to this. You can make it do more than what they currently have. So that's something I'm going to be doing. But before I go crazy and I start adding new rules, I kind of want to see how it runs as a vanilla system, just as is. And that's what we're doing this week. I don't go too crazy with distractions and things going wrong. Trust me, things still go wrong and things still get kind of crazy. But I just want to see the system as is, because I want to make sure that the system can change and challenge the PCs over time, and it's fair from both a storytelling point of view as well as a mechanics point of view. So back to my first point about metagaming. Metagaming can be very hard for certain people, especially, when you're playing a game like this, where if you see a monster and you're like, oh, I know what that monster is, and I know that silver will kill it, or it doesn't like cold iron because I've seen that monster 1,000 times. Sure, my character has never seen that monster, and if I fail my roll of knowledge check, I still know what that monster does. Well, I'm telling you right now, never ever assume anything, especially when it comes to monsters, because one thing that I like to do is change up the monsters. And that's one of the easiest ways to get around metagaming knowledge that PCs probably shouldn't have. I've seen it many, many times where they see, oh, it's a ghoul. Okay, I'm going to just use this and that attack against them. And then, well, they don't work. And then they start arguing like, hey, wait a second, that's a ghoul. This should do extra damage to them, blah, blah, blah. Well, no, you don't know what this is. And you shouldn't be using outside knowledge. It's that simple. And that's really one of the only ways you can fight metagaming if your players are going to try to, well, I don't know, use it in a game. And metagaming is one of those things you just sort of have to talk to your players about and say, look, if you're going to be using metagame knowledge, I suggest you don't. It might not always work in your case. It might come back and bite you in the ass, and I don't want you yelling at me because you thought it was supposed to work one way and it doesn't work that way. I've seen that happen many, many, many times. And sometimes it's completely innocent. Sometimes people just assume things a certain ways and they're actually not even trying to metagame. They just have been playing this so many times and they know the rules so well that when you change the rules, they're going to ask for a clarification. I often think of a story I once read where there was this magic box, and this box would tell you the truth almost all the time. You could ask this box any question you wanted, and they would almost always tell you the truth, except when it didn't. And the few times it didn't tell you the truth, it was always going to be a catastrophic disaster for you and anyone who listened to that information. And I love that story because it's so useful in this scenario. It's exactly like that. As the PC, if you use metagame information, a lot of times it's going to work, and maybe you do know the information, maybe it will help you out, and maybe you can use knowledge that you should not have as a player character in the game to help you. But every so often, when you get it wrong, or something has changed that you weren't aware of, it can be an absolute disaster for you and the rest of the party. So that's something I always tell my PCs, is keep that in mind when you're using metagaming and outside knowledge, is that it might work more times than not, but the few times it doesn't, it's going to be a disaster for you. And I don't want to hear you complain because you were using metagaming, aka cheating. Also, last week I want to mention how I was talking a little bit about the David Eddings method. This is one of those weeks where we sort of go through not only the circus adventure, but then go back to sort of the main overall plot. You learn a little bit about what's going on, what's going to be moving the heroes forward after they have fun in the circus. So this is one of those weeks where it's sort of a fun distraction, as well as a little bit of character development. I actually feel that the circus actually aids to character development. For example, Atreon has never performed live before, so this is going to be their very first time ever doing that. So we'll get to see how that goes. And as well as, well, we have to move the plot forward. We can't all be sitting around just talking about our feelings week after week. So that is going to be coming up at the end of this week's episode. With that, some really quick show notes. Do check out the Patreon if you want to hear everything early. It's just $5 a month. If you want to actually watch us, $10 a month. And if you actually want to play with us, there's more above that. Do check out the Discord channel if you want to play some games. Just go to discord.rollforcombat.com. Get a free t-shirt if you get to level 10. We've been putting up almost every single day a Pathfinder or Starfinder or even private games. And if you want to run games, you can. It's very busy over there. Don't forget, Jason puts up a Talking Combat column every single week. One for the circus and one for Black Lodge. Those go up every single Monday and every single Thursday. So check those out. Jason also writes reviews for pretty much every single hardcover book Paizo puts out. So check those on the site. Just go to rollforcombat.com and you can see all the Talking Combat columns and all of his reviews. But with that, let's get to this week's episode. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh.
Yes. What you're going to be doing? Okay, here we go. Oh, actually, who's going first? Tell me the lineup. Who's going first so she can announce it?
Atteron.
Lauren Sake is playing Hap, the Starlight Sparrow, a human fire elementalist sorcerer.
It's on the circus sheet.
Vanessa Hoskins is playing Alhara Varys, the amazingly agile Alhara, a half-elf gymnast swashbuckler.
Atron's going first.
Otteron's first.
Rob Pontius is playing Otteron, Uncanny Otteron's cauldron of curious concoctions, a human witch of curses.
Oh, I'm not looking at the circus sheet.
After the hour, Acheron walks into the back, looking a little wide-eyed, but just nods. It is a very rambunctious crowd. We will have quite the show.
You're going to be great. I cannot wait to see you perform.
Rob Termarco is playing Darius Varus, Darius's Daring Destructions, a half-elf monk of the mountain style.
Thank you. Let us hope it pays off. I don't have many tricks to add to it yet, but hopefully in time.
Wow, this is some sheet. I tell you,
It
if
is
anyone
really nice.
from Paizo is listening, which I know they are, you should check out this insane sheet that Vanessa made that calculates every single thing.
You
for
shared
the
it, right?
circus. I
Yeah,
did
I'll,
share it. It is nuts, this sheet.
Sweet.
Well,
It's the
I have
sheet.
a different sheet to share with public.
That's right. This is the private sheet. Okay, with that, Lysia, the lights go down. Everyone gets quiet, sort of, because it is a bustling, overflowing crowd. And Elysia leaves her snake with Hap. She takes a deep breath, and then she goes out. She's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, creatures of all ages, sizes, and creeds, welcome to the Circus of Wayward Wonders." And the crowd goes crazy as they have been waiting for this all week. Obviously, everyone has been super excited and cannot wait to see this. And with that, the clowns come out, do a little bit of performance. You have a little like intro act of everyone kind of marching out, and she goes through who everyone is and sort of does like a little baby intro, sort of to get the crowd going. After a few minutes of that, everyone goes backstage again, and she comes down and says, "Tonight we have a wonderful act. It's their very first time performing, but I know they're going to do great. Tonight we have Acheron's Concoctions, where you will be glimpsing into the future or the past, or maybe a world that you don't know through his mystical smoke, his magics and tricks. Welcome, Acheron!" And then like it's all purple and smoke is coming out, and Acheron's up.
Ooh, boy.
Oh boy.
All right, I'm gonna make my craft check first because I'm using crafting. So let's see.
Watch as Acheron builds a boat.
So -1.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of +11, I'll have +10.
That's still really good.
That is you.
Okay, first check.
DC 18.
DC 18.
Ah, come on!
Oh
You
no.
roll a 6. Well, you all have hero points, so it's up to
Yeah.
you.
Yep, hero pointing.
Okay.
You were so close.
Figures.
All right, hero point to reroll. Do better.
Hey!
Woo! Very good.
14
Success.
for 24.
Success.
All
right. So I have a little description prepared for you.
Okay, go right ahead.
2 circus hands gather some wood in the center ring, while 2 others carry forth a large black cauldron, a curious liquid of incandescent shifting colors sloshing within. The lights are dimmed as Acheron walks dramatically forward, their chins slowly inclining as they do so, that they might look down their nose at the assembled. They grin as they raise their hand before their face, snapping as they grin, and fire erupts from the wood. "It's time for magic to begin," they call out loudly. The wood begins to smoke as Acheron throws both hands forward, a few ingredients leaving their sleeves to join the fire as some of the splash liquid causes the wood to hiss. Smoke the color of azure sea, spring violets, and green moss weaves into the crowd. It smells heavily of cardamom and orange. The cauldron bubbles, frosts, and hisses while strange motes rise up into the air, crackling with a pop. "Now frog's legs spy the web, eye of lizard," Acheron begins, informing of a list of ingredients they add to the cauldron. Each ingredient brings a new snap to the air, new colors to the smoke, and new scents to tantalize the crowd with visions of various shapes appearing of creatures in distant lands. The cauldron begins to bubble over soon. Acheron's eyes widen out of some sort of concern and urgency. As the fire builds, they chant, "Esh Ezel Avaros thought, Beth Azalo Adu. A flash sends twirling bands of smoke, blue, green, and violet fire up into the air. And Ataran quickly walks into the back with a flourish of their mantle and cloak as their laughter echoes throughout the tent.
Ooh, the crowd is all going, ooh, ah, and it's like a mysterious atmosphere as they have the lights really down low so you can really get all the action.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the first action. You still got 2 more to go. What you gonna do?
Yeah, so it'll be a +5 against a DC 18.
Mm-hmm.
Failure would be an 8 or lower.
Well, there's
Or
no effect if you fail.
Critical failure would be 8 or lower, right?
Yes, but the excitement decreases by the value equal to half the trick's level rounded up. So that
2.
would mean a 2. -2 if you crit fail.
Yeah, so crit failure is pretty bad, but we actually need some of our heroes to get at least 2 successes in order
Yeah.
to actually win
I'm
this
thinking
thing.
try again.
And don't forget,
Mhm.
you have Send in the Clowns that you can use once per act. So for you, you can use it anytime during this act.
All right, so
Once
I
per
will
act,
try
not
again.
once per show.
Yeah, it's once per act.
Once per act.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and if you fail or critically fail, it just basically makes it a failed trick becomes a success.
Woohoo! On the
Failure
money.
becomes- Oh, I didn't see it. Doesn't count. Does not count,
Oh.
right?
18.
18 on the money. So the
But that's a
swirling...
+10. Wrong.
Yeah, you gotta have the
Wrong.
minus.
Oh,
the
yeah,
minus.
you're right. Oh,
You rolled a 13.
so I fail.
But if we have once per act, this is the first act. Throw in clowns,
Yeah.
make it a success.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so... the clowns come rushing out into the smoke, acting like they are terrified by the visions and choking on some of it and running and screaming and acting rather silly at all the strange manifestations and the concoctions that are spewing forth. And they also help the hands gather the cauldron quickly out, and then the wood is gathered up and moved.
Oh, saved by the clowns once again. So the failed trick becomes a successful trick, and you get 3 excitement. What about the last one? It's a +0. I think you can make it.
You can
Nope.
roll an 18 on die, right?
Nah,
Maybe that's enough.
that's good.
So okay. So with that, you just decide to call it a day, and you leave.
Ataran in the back kind of wipes at their brow, looking a little disheveled, shifts their hair back in place, and moving sweat from their face. All right, what do I do now? And looks around like nervous, like they're not sure what to do with all like the anxious energy they have.
Darius will offer a cup of water, and bow. You've done great.
Thank
Nothing
you.
else need be done.
Good. I will watch the crowd. They are quite loud. Be loud.
Well,
Hap is
That's
clinging
what I
to
do.
Hap is clinging to the professor's side because she is racked with anxiety.
Yeah, you'll be fine. So, sure enough, yeah, the crowd is pretty loud. The performance was adequate. Everyone sort of nods and gives a clap for.
It was my first time.
Right. So they're all very positive, and having the clowns come in is acceptable. It happens, and also tonight being so many people, it sort of makes it difficult. So it's okay. But with that, up is Darius and Alhara with the build up. They're
The troll and the treasure routine.
the troll and the treasure. So
Mhm,
sure
mhm.
enough, Lysia goes back outside and asks everyone, it's like, how big a round of applause for Ataran and his concoctions. But with that, let's get to the next act. You've probably seen them around town. I heard that they're having a lot of fun over at the Mad Mug, butting heads, causing all sorts of havoc, and serving delicious bacon. But you're going to see them in ways you've never imagined before. Tonight, it's Darius the Troll and Ahara the Treasure.
All right. Darius is made up in his troll get up with a crazy black wig and green skin and face paint and a tied on big pointy nose, like all warty. And the first thing he does is takes this small little treasure box and he hides it under his lair's fake bed. Looks like a big fake cartoony looking cave with some fake cave structures and stalagmites, stalactites, but also some actual painted wood ones that he will be smashing. And he has a big club, and he does this thing where he walks around, and Alhara is skulking around in the background looking to opportunity grab or sneak away to get the treasure he's just hidden. And he detects her and he starts swinging the club and smashing things and making her jump around. So I'll do that athletics check first.
Sounds great.
Okay, we will do the randomness to see who gets the -1 from the hecklers.
Okay.
I will do a 1d100. Low is Darius, high is Alhara.
Whoa, you just said they were loud, not that they were heckling Alteron.
Oh, they're heckling.
Oh, they're heckling. That's low, so that's Darius.
That's me.
Darius.
All right.
Is it on all of Darius's skill
Yes.
checks? Okay.
All of them.
All right. We'll have a +9 athletics, so now it's +8.
Ooh, okay. All right, let's see it. Still got good
Here it
chances.
11. You rolled a
Take the
2.
hero point.
Are you
don't
sure?
worry.
I don't
Yep.
need
Yeah.
0 point.
Don't keep the 2. The 2 is bad.
He's getting really distracted by the crowd and the heckling and the
Hey,
there we
I'm
go.
distracted, or do they spur me on to even greater flexing and
Well, at
smashing?
At first you were distracted, but then you got your wits about you and focused. You're like, focus, and then 26. Good job.
Fantastic.
And you get a +3 excitement. The crowd is excited.
Mm. All right, it's at this point that Alhara, in her sort of adventure persona, definitely starts to get more involved with what Darius the Troll is doing. So Alhara's going to aid you on this next one. Let me go ahead and roll my athletics
Okay.
check to aid as she jumps and dodges and tries to stay out of this troll's way. And I rolled, oh no, a total of 12.
You rolled a 2.
I rolled a 2.
Puke.
Plus 10 is 12. So bad.
Use the hero point.
Not on this one. I still have my own checks to do.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
fair.
So I'll just do my second check without help and another -1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
So it's a +3.
Get those clowns ready. The clowns are dressed like little goblins.
Ooh, goblins.
The clowns are ready. They know
Or
Darius.
like some other, maybe even something like little
Methods.
like pasty method.
Methods.
Yeah, methods, because that's a big theme in the
Yeah.
town.
Oh,
A lot of people have been terrorized by
seen
methods.
That's good.
you have seen every type of method there is. You actually
We've
have seen
killed every
all-
kind of
A
method there
method
is.
sampler play.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! 19 for 28. You know what that is?
Critical!
Well, you got to subtract
Critical
5.
Oh,
right?
you didn't
No, you gotta
subtract
take
the 5
5.
either.
Oh, you
Oh.
forgot the.
You
Aww.
have to subtract
Hey,
6.
delete
so
all that.
22.
Let's just take it as a critical. Don't
You
put that in the
guys-
show.
You got us
just
really
trying to follow
excited.
the rules.
19 plus 3. You still do very well. You still
Oh.
succeed. So
Yeah.
That's good,
so
though.
this is the part where Alhara is being attacked by the troll, and he smashes his club down on the ground, but there's a levery catapulty thing. He smashes it, but she leaps up and does a twirl and flip behind him, and she kicks him in the butt, and he tumbles forward, and he swings the club around again, but she ducks under it and then grabs onto the club, and he shakes it, but she's still on it. And he shakes it, and she's still on it, and she punches him in the nose.
Yeah. And so this sort of bleeds over into her portion of their double act here. And now that they're really getting into it, and Darius is really swinging that club around, Alhara decides she needs to get a bit of height on him. So she lures him to one of the lever boards, or the spring boards, and he hits it, and she flies into the air up onto a really high platform, and she starts jumping from high platform to suspended high platform that are way up in the air, just making these incredible jumps as she uses her bow staff to push herself up and fly through the air 15, 20 feet. I'm going to make an athletics check for.
Wait, are you doing your last action, Darius, or you're done? You're not going to do your third.
Oh,
action?
I'm not gonna do a third.
Okay, so you're.
I'm not gonna
done
roll
now.
that good again.
So now we're up to trick number 3, which is Alhara, and there's no minus for you. So
Right. So full on athletics. And I nat one it. What is with our dice?
natural 1.
Hero pointing.
Hero
certainly.
point?
That's
Wow.
what it's there for.
All of us having to hero point. Just this is embarrassing.
Rough.
I know. I wanted to keep it for something good, but
Maybe I'll roll well for once. That doesn't
Wow.
happen.
There you go.
even on the hero point, I rolled
Barely.
an 8 and barely
made
make the
it.
DC 18.
18. Well, it still works, so everyone's excited.
So she's leaping along, and one of her jumps that should be really easy, her bow staff gets stuck in one of the suspended platforms because they're just made of wood, and it gets stuck right in between 2 planks, and she ends up like having to leap without it. So she pushes off with it, but it doesn't come with her. She gets some like burns on her hands, and as she lands on the other platform, she barely catches onto the edge and swings back and forth, and the audience is like, and then she clambers back up. She like swings herself back up acrobatically onto the top. But now she's ready for sort of the big finale part of her act, where she's going to need to actually steal this treasure from this troll. And so she starts to jump around on the ground, leading the troll away, jumping this way and that way. And I'm going to go ahead and make another athletics check. But Darius, if you want to assist me.
Yes, let me try and do that.
Cool.
19.
19 total. Even if the -1 is in there, that should be an 18. So I get assistance of +1, which is pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
So this is going to be this roll with -4 on top of it, because it is actually, I'm sorry, with -3, because it is an agile trait trick. So with -3 to this total, I rolled a total of 24. -3 is 21.
Nice.
Boom.
Okay, plus another +3. Are you going to, well, here's where it gets interesting. Your total excitement is up to 27, and your total anticipation is 28. You are actually putting on too good a show.
Well, we're 25 out of 28. 25 excitement.
Are you sure? No,
I'm
wait,
sure.
you had 7,
Mm-hmm.
then 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So
we have 3 of our performers, each earning 6 excitement.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a total of 18 plus the initial 7, 25.
oh, you're right, 25. I don't know where I got my numbers from.
We are
so
doing
25.
well.
Okay, well, anyhow, still 25 out of 28. You're pretty close.
We're doing probably better than I anticipated, but that's fine.
Yeah,
We're doing.
Does
That's
that
fine.
mean
We
I have
can
to
let-
phone it in?
Yeah, half-ass it.
I don't
mean-
want to. I wrote down a whole list
Everyone
of
else
like the way
has
this
to
could
go.
go.
Everyone
No.
has to go. You have to put on at least one trick,
Yeah, do
Yeah.
one trick. See how it goes.
including dead PCs.
And we all have a pretty good chance on the first one of critting, which also increases anticipation, so that it ends up chasing it. So it's.
And you never know what can happen in the meantime.
Yeah, there could be something that happens during the show. So
Yeah.
So anyhow, so with my final successful roll, Alhara is able to leap like directly over, just completely over Darius, landing on the other side and grabbing the treasure. And she starts running around, running away from Darius, trying to just outrun him, which, let's be honest, for her isn't too hard. And in the end is able to outrun him, stops, opens the treasure, and inside is like a little wooden carved Darius the troll doll. And she starts playing with it a little and thinks it's pretty funny. And she's going to run over to the Hofton girl who's in the
Oh,
crowd
yeah.
and hand it to her.
That's cute.
Aw. And as you go into the crowd, you see Violet the goat, and you see Two Punch, and you see all of her mad muggers with her, and they're enjoying the beer quite a bit, if you know what I
Okay.
mean.
Oh,
But do
yeah.
they look like they're
Mhm.
also enjoying the show?
They're enjoying everything. They're
Oh,
enjoying
Both.
the show.
They got
Both
free
is
tickets.
good.
Yeah, they got free tickets.
I don't supposed to phone it in, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna knock it out of the park. This is the
All right,
big
And
well, you're
that's
up.
when the tent got lit on fire.
Oh,
Oh
gosh.
no!
5
Time for the
minutes
big
later.
number. All right, what do you got, Hap?
Well, we gotta see if there's a random event first. Maybe? Is this when we do that? I don't know when we do that.
No, No.
Just at the
Keep
beginning
going.
of the adventure,
Okay.
and it was the
going.
overcrowded tent.
Well, it's
keep
Eliza's
going.
turn, right?
No, Eliza's our announcer.
I mean, like, it's her turn to
Oh,
speak
I
at
see
the
what you're saying.
crowd.
Okay.
Okay, with that, Eliza comes in and says, "Did you see that? Oh, who know that daughters could be made up so scary, and Alara could jump around so agilely. What a show, what a show. But next up is the big number. We have Hap, who will be enchanting you with her fire dance, and her friend Bardoff the Bear. I introduce you to Hap the Starlight Sparrow and Bardoff the Bear." Dun, 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 dun,
All right.
Doc Severinsen is our band leader.
Yes.
Okay, so I think I have one question before I get started on this. How many traits am I allowed to have in this act?
1.
So if I pick fire, I can't pick injury.
I think you
Right.
can always pick injury.
You get
Mm.
injury automatically if you are basing your trick on a saving
Fortitude, right?
on something
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, if I don't pick a saving throw, is it no longer able to be an injury trick?
Correct.
All right.
Yeah,
well, it's
we
gonna
don't
it's
get
gonna
another-
look dangerous.
I think we get another trait next level.
At level 4, you get 2 trick traits. That's
All right, well,
correct.
at
Okay,
level
cool.
4, I'll take fire.
Level 4, 2 trick checks. Level 8, 2 trick traits.
God bless you.
Are we not already doing 2 trick checks?
No, like you could choose between things. So let's say for
Oh,
Alhara,
okay.
for example.
Different checks.
Yeah, so like because I'm dodging around this troll swinging, I could say I'm using a reflex save or I'm using, athletics to jump. And with the reflex save, because I have a save, then that would automatically add the injury trait and it doesn't count against me for
Okay.
my traits.
I was gonna risk it for the biscuit and just declare the injury trait in case, and just let something bad happen if I rolled real bad, because I think you get something for it. But if I can't,
You do not.
yeah, what? You don't get anything for it?
Mm-mm.
You get something. That's why we
It's
had.
a riskier
You get an
thing.
injury.
I mean, you
Alright.
get a
Nothing.
chance of hurting yourself.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
You
okay.
get nothing.
The
All
difference
right.
is you're using a saving throw, and mechanically it can be easy to get your saving throws pretty high. And so I think that's sort of the trade-off is like, ooh.
Okay. For me, that's actually less advantageous. Anyway, I'm ready to begin.
Well, you get a -1 no matter what, because
Oh yeah, I need to incorporate
The
that into my
crowd.
math here.
the crowd is going wild. They're all excited after seeing such a great show that the beer is flowing, that they have gotten very boisterous and vocal. So here we go, Hap.
With that -1, I think my math is okay. So, all right, here we go. The curtain is pulled back by some of the folks helping us. Bardoff and Hap both appear and walk towards the center ring together. They meet the center ring. They stand about 5 feet apart from each other. Hap takes a bow. Bardoff, on his 4 legs, bows his head. Hap adopts a combat stance, a Kung Fu Shaolin style. Bardoff likewise starts growling and raises his paw to attack. Suddenly, Bardoff charges in. Hap dances out of the way in her mystical steps. At that, Bardoff rears back to attack again. Hap flips out of the way and summons 5 fiery sparrows, which dart towards the bear as if they had intent to kill. At this, I would like to make my performance check.
Oh no.
Is this a dance?
Dun dun dun.
Yes, this is a dance. Dance is my main thing.
Dance of Death. So what is your plus?
They're dance fighting.
I
They
would
are
have been
dance
at
fighting.
plus 13, but I'm going to get this -1. So I think that the way this math works is just add 1 to whatever comes out in roll 20. Yes.
Well, let's see. You got a 7 plus 11.
And then I get +1 more for the dancing scarf and 1 more for a virtuosic.
No, that's built in. I already put the Dance of Scarf in.
Oh, but I don't have. It's not on my character sheet, which means that's. I have a 4
Yeah, it is.
charisma and a 7 proficiency bonus, which is 11. So the scarf makes it 12, and then virtuosic performer makes it 13.
I didn't put it in.
Bards, man. Bards.
Bards.
Yeah.
You're right. I
Birds.
didn't put it in.
Who
So
thought that bards would be any
So
good
it-
at perform?
I know,
Right?
right?
I thought you get a plus. Oh, you get a +2 for making
Yes.
performance type dance.
Yes.
Oh my lord!
Yes.
Broken.
So you get 11 plus.
I know what I'm about, son.
plus. So you get a +3 between the scarf and the bard. So you have a +14, but then it's a +13.
I think I only get
Right.
a +2. One from Scarf and one from Virtuosic Performer. I don't have any other
Why not
pluses.
+2?
It's only
Why
+1
not
for Virtuosic Performer.
No, I thought you. But I thought
And-
it's +2 if it's a dance.
No, it's
No?
+1 if it's a dance.
Oh, okay.
It's plus nothing if it's not a dance.
Okay, well, anyhow, you got a plus. You got a lot. You make it. Ta-da! You got a lot. You made it. So, congratulations. You now got another +3 excitement, bringing the total up to 28. Well, good news and bad news. The good news is
Well, I'm not
you
done
have
yet.
hit. Oh, I know, but overall,
Okay.
you've hit the anticipation. You have surpassed everyone's excitement and anticipation for the show. Now it's just going for broke.
Okay. No, I'm going to go for broke. I'm going to knock this out of the park. All right. So these 5 sparrow darts made out of fire fly past Bardock, looking as if they barely singe his hair. He gets angry. He stands up on his 2 legs and comes down with a massive paw swipe. Hap does a tumble out of the way, gets behind him as Bardoff is turning around to attack. Bardoff no longer takes a kung fu stance. She stands there with her legs shoulder width apart, hand at her sides, eyes burning with fiery determination. The fire grows. It starts to engulf her body. Slowly, a gigantic phoenix appears behind her. Her aura is overpowering with flame. Its wings beat. And then it flies away from Hap. It goes over Bardoff as he rolls on his belly. And then it flies around the ring, going over top of all of the stands so that embers, harmless embers, go into the audience as they watch on in amazement. Finally, the phoenix comes back, and as it is returning to Hap, it shrinks down to the size of another little sparrow, which lands on her finger, and she blows it out like a candle. At this, I would like to make my second performance check.
Wow. Is that a plus? It's not agile.
7 by
It's
my
a plus
math.
7. Yeah,
Yeah.
+7. Okay. You got clowns and a hero point.
Natural
my
20!
God.
Yeah!
Amazing.
Oh my goodness.
There goes the mic. All right. +3 excitement, +2 anticipation. So, okay. Excitement's up to 31. Anticipation's up to 30.
right.
Wow.
I want you to describe the
Insane.
cloud because I'm not done yet.
The crowd is just breathless. In fact, they've almost gone quiet except for the drunkards, and they're just on the edge of their seats waiting to see how you finish this off. And plus the bear is adding to the excitement, and between the size difference of you being so tiny and the bear being so big and the light illuminating the dark tent, everyone is just on the absolute edge of their seat. Can't wait to see what's going to happen next.
Okay, Hap sits down and whispers to Bardoff, "Bear hug."
Oh.
And then Bardoff comes over and just gives Hap a big hug and just licks her like crazy. And she gives him the belly rubs. And then they stand up and take a bow.
You're not doing a last check?
I have said what I'm doing.
It's only
Okay.
+2. I'm sure you'll do fine.
I mean,
Plus
you're
2 with
sending
a hero
the
point
clowns.
and the clowns.
Let's stop when
Literally,
we're ahead, Vegas
There's
style.
no downside.
Good
There
idea.
actually is no downside.
The
None.
problem is, though, that I spent
Yeah.
the last hour or whatever writing out what my act was going to be, and I have ended it in my notes. I don't have anything more to do.
That could be it. You could just.
You know
do
what?
that.
You know what? It's an animal check. I'm not allowed to do that, am I?
No.
No.
Tell you what, I'll roll the performance, but we're gonna call it an animal check. Is that fine?
No. Just
All right,
roll.
well, then I'm done.
Are you gonna
I'm
do
done.
that? Okay. All right. All right.
I'll tell you
Well,
what, I'm going to stab with this weapon, but we're going to call it a ranged attack roll.
Right. Right. Okay. After that, everyone just stands up and gives you a thunderous applause and starts throwing popcorn and other confetti type material onto the three rings. As
Bardoff rolls on his back, and I lay on his belly and give him all the rubs while they're doing this. He's my best
Okay.
friend. And then we take a bow again, and we exit.
All right.
Wow.
Fantastic.
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
Now that wasn't fire, so you didn't get any extra, right? That
Was fire. That was fire, yeah.
But we don't have a pyrotechnic.
We
You
don't have a pyrotechnic as a
right.
thing.
So it was dance. So it was So
Mhm.
okay. So next up, since nothing bad is happening, Featherfall 5.
Yeah, we have the finale, Act 4.
So the big Act 4. Let me see who's gonna get the minus first. I will just roll 1d4 and I'll ignore the 4.
Okay.
It'll be the second act. You can't change it.
Okay, so it's going to be the Flamboni sisters that have a minus
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, you just. I'm gonna say you
Cool.
can't. You can't change it if you knew. That's the only downside if I do it publicly. So I will announce that, and then whoever wants to do the Featherfall 5. So the Featherfall 5. Don't forget they have the traits Agile and Teen,
Mhm.
and they have Acrobatics +8 or Athletics +6,
Mhm.
and they. I'll say what they do since I'm about to announce it.
Sure.
And with that, Lysia comes out, this time with the snake wrapped around her, Mr. Tickles, and says, "How about that, everyone? Can you believe what you saw? Such a tiny girl with such a big bear, but such elegance with death-defying fire. Give another round of applause for Hap." And everyone is still standing and applauding for you, Hap, because that was so amazing.
She is now fully embracing the professor and crying profusely.
The professor's like, there, Hap. You always had it in you. You've done a great job. I'm starting to sound like Darius. Anyhow,
Darius runs over, lifts her up. You are the best. The circus should just be about you.
Thanks, big brother.
but with that, we introduce our grand finale. And now again, I'm gonna have them all come out because it's 3 acts and there's 3 rings. But for gaming's sake, we're gonna do 1, 2, and 3. So even though it's a 3-ring circus, so
Sure. Do you want them
First
all to
up-
do their first action and then all to do their second action?
no,
Aw.
I'm not gonna do. I mean, you guys actually, you know what? You can. I'll tell you why. You've
It's like
already.
rounds of combat, right? That's why the the clowns can only come out once.
Yeah, you're actually not supposed to do it like that.
Oh, okay.
The only reason, well, is because it can affect like when you send in the clowns and stuff.
Mhm.
You know what? I'm not going to do it just yet. Let me do it normal, and then as I get better and as I get a better feel for the
Okay.
circus, I'll change it.
Sure.
It says we have the Featherfall 5. The Kinbali family balances on tight ropes with bounces, flips, and aerial feats to delight and thrill you all. In the center ring, we have the Flamboni sisters. See feats of juggling from these 2 brave sisters. Can they juggle fire? Will they set themselves on fire? Who knows? And then over here, in the far ring, we have the dwarf throwing brothers. See them tumble, shape themselves into living ballasts, and launch themselves through the air with the greatest of ease. They only land on their head most of the time. And with that, we bring you the grand finale of the Circus of Wayward Wonders.
So I'll go ahead and do the Featherfall 5. So this family of 5 acrobats performs high wire acts. So they start climbing up in their ring as the ring was set up during the big number, and they start to tightrope back and forth. And one of the things they really like to do is they'll sometimes have people drop down on the tightrope and then like swing back and forth, which makes the rope sort of swing dangerously. But they're coordinated and practiced well enough that they can stay on there just fine, jumping over each other and swinging under each other and switching places. And so I'm going to go ahead and roll acrobatics for balance for them at +8.
Okay.
They're looking for a 15 because they're only a level 1 act. Unfortunately, they only rolled a total of 14 with a 6 on the die.
So you do not quite. They have a little bit of wobbling, a little bit of problems during their act, so they do not generate any excitement. People are not quite paying attention.
Yeah. So they're going to continue. I think they're going to take their second action. They're going to continue. They are agile, so it's only at a +4, which is still pretty good if they're only trying to hit a DC 15. And they continue to ramp up their act by dropping down a trapeze, and some of the members start to jump up off the trapeze, and now the trapeze is swinging back and forth, so that way the members that are jumping back and forth from one trapeze to the other are soaring just above the tightrope that some of their other family members are on, and occasionally they'll switch places with them, jumping off the rope onto the trapeze and vice versa. Our second roll is a natural 1.
Oh no!
Clowns.
Oh my gosh, they're having
That's a clown
rough night.
situation, just to make it a regular failure.
You know what? Trust me for a moment and let's say it's not.
Okay, I trust you.
Trust me for a moment and let's say it's not.
Okay, well, critical failure. So with the critical failure, I don't know if I'm going to let you crit into a perfect anticipation. I'm warning you now. I'm warning you now. I'm not going to let that happen. You can't go back down into that. The critical
What are you talking
excitement, know what I'm talking about. Critical excitement decreases. So -1 to the excitement.
But now we're at 30 excitement and a 30 anticipation. So as long as we increase anticipation and excitement in equal numbers, we still have a chance.
Wait,
Woohoo!
if we just only
Stop
fail from
now.
here on out, we're good? Is
If
that
we,
what's
only,
happening?
if we only fail or crit success, from here on out, we're good.
That's it. All you have to do is fail, critically fail. Well, critically fail actually messes you up.
Yeah. So a crit success will increase, because they're level 1, will increase the excitement and anticipation by 1. And a regular fail will do nothing. So as long as we get those from now on, we'll still crit this one. It'll be great. We'll save
I
it.
swear to God, I'm totally rewriting those.
So
rules.
meta. So meta.
You know what? They're the ones who said they have to equal, which I always thought was really silly, but that's fine. I understand why the math is harder, but then in a way it's not, because there's a bunch of shenanigans you can pull in this to like adjust how your numbers are going. And we haven't even done some of the like heavy-handed shenanigans.
Okay, what are you gonna do next?
All right, so I think next up is the Flamboni sisters. Because
Oh, you're not even gonna let them go after they fall and kill themselves. You're like,
you want them to go one more time at +0?
Nope.
Yeah.
I
that's-
mean, we have a chance
Nope.
for another critical failure. Like, we don't mind taking it at this point.
Yeah, you want to have them go a third time at +0 just for fun.
Nah.
it's up to you guys.
We've been typically doing 2 checks per.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
that's
I
think we're
I
fine.
think that's
Two
fair.
Flamboni sisters. Now they go at a -1, so
Yeah.
they have deception at +7 or fortitude save at +7.
Mhm.
They have fire, injury, and team, depending on which trick you're doing. So
I'll take them again.
Fantastic.
All right, I'll start with the roll. So deception it is. So is that's with the -1? The +7 is with the -1?
It is not. That's their
No.
normal bonus,
Okay,
so they're actually
alright.
going to be at +6 overall.
Gotcha. Oh, failure.
Ooh, failure. You roll.
That's fine.
7.
So the Flamboni sisters, they come out and they start, juggling a few unlit torches, which are supposed to kind of come up in surprise and appear to be totally aflame as they go to catch them to kind of trick the crowd. Unfortunately, they don't light fully properly, and just the normal head of the torches lights. So while they're doing a decent juggling act, the real point of the surprise trick kind of just, falls flat.
Hmm.
Go again.
They leave stage.
They leave stage. They're like, yeah, no,
I don't think
didn't-
I'm gonna. All right, you're gonna force my hand. I'm gonna do something you're not gonna like, but okay.
I mean,
I like how Steve's like, you're doing too well. I'm going to force you to
a
regret it.
second action would be at such a low penalty. And especially after a failure, I don't think they would try.
I mean, here's the thing: it's like +2. They can try, but they're likely to just get a crit failure. Honestly,
They don't scale
Yeah,
very well
should
with
not.
our math, is what
I don't.
it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me in character that they would try again.
Well, I'm telling you right now, those dwarf throwers
Oh yeah,
have
I'm
been
ready.
waiting.
They have a
'Cause
good
they
chance.
were supposed to go on last time.
hmm
So they
Right.
better get. They're going to you and saying, "We're going
Yeah.
all 3 times, whether you like it or not."
Okay.
So you're going to
All
make
right.
sure that they go, and they just get the traits team: acrobatics +7 or athletics +10. That's pretty good.
Athletics. That's what it's going to be.
Yep.
All
There
right.
you go.
Here's what these two knuckleheads do. Thurk and Thusok. They do that thing where they're holding onto the ankles of each other and then they roll in, right, into the ring. And they
Oh,
roll all
yeah.
around the ring, right?
Nice.
hmm
And then they jump up and they don't ever high five. They only headbutt when they do Gwell. Clank, and they're wearing like these big gaudy like caricature of dwarven helmets that also act as like their shoulder pads, so it absorbs their shock and they don't like get concussions so much. It's like only a 40% chance of concussion, but they do that. And then their first tumbling act is they have these high kind of steps and they run up them, and what they try and do is midair try to clank their heads together and then tumble down and one catch the other. So they sort of ram each other and then boom, boom, and they topple on top of each other. So this will be an athletics check of what, +10 you said?
Yep.
Yep, +10.
Yep.
Here we go.
Oh,
Ooh.
25. You know what
25.
that is?
Is that a
Crit success.
crit success?
Critical success.
Nice.
So it looks perfect. There's sparks that come off their helmet.
Let's go. Just like tell Eliza, like that's it. Cut. Everyone's happy. Cut. Turn
No,
off
they're
the
not,
light.
they're not listening. Those dwarves want to go.
And they're gonna go again. Now they have these like fake little cannons. I mean, they make sort of a smoky boom, but there's just little levers that kind of send them into the air. And what they try and do is they also trying to they're trying to grab like this. They're trying to go through a hoop simultaneously. What'll probably happen is they always trying to hit each other in the head. Like that's the goal of all of their tricks, is to smash each other in midair. So here we go. And I'll roll. Should I just roll +5 or roll +10 again?
No, it's +5.
Plus
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Five.
Technically
+5
plus
now.
4, right?
No.
No,
No.
they're not
Oh,
being
that's
heckled.
right. Somebody else had the -1.
Oh,
Wow.
Jesus,
Oh
dwarves
my
are killing it.
gosh. 1
you
point away from a
accidentally-
crit.
Oh my god.
So we're gonna be 1 over the crit, right?
24. You get 1 excitement, 0 anticipation.
Because Steven doesn't like us play the metagame.
Too. No,
all
I
right.
do it. If that means I do it too. You won't like when I do it.
Mm-hmm.
And now
I
they're
like how you forced us to not get what we were trying to.
It's an odd system to only be able to crit on the exact number.
It
That
is
means
odd.
you have to be working out of character to try and get that.
Correct.
unless it just
That's how
all
it goes.
really works
This
out.
Let's be real here. The players earned it, but for the sake of a good show, the GM's like, let's keep going. That's what's happening.
So these two dwarves are psyched beyond belief. Everyone's cheering. No one's heckling them. I mean, if they do, they don't care. They love it. And any press is good press. They don't care. And now they're gonna go really high up. They're gonna do this big dive into like a big sort of. They want to spiral down and like hold their hands and tumble around. Into
We're
this
having them
big
try
sort of
again?
like. Are we
Oh,
not?
we don't get a
Didn't-
choice here.
Didn't
they're
Steven
doing it
force
again.
the hand?
Yeah.
The
Steven
hand is
Steven
forced.
insisted that they do.
In fact, you probably want to critically fail because
That's
then
true.
they'll get you back.
Right.
So we'll
That's
see what happens. You might actually do exactly what you want to do. So there's no downside to this.
Get the one, nat one. Come on.
So you're actually rooting for your own teammates' failures right now.
Yes.
Hey, this
yes.
is how this system works, you know?
Yeah. Don't hate the player.
I'm hating the players. Trust me.
they have this little mini Rube Goldberg machine set up like that, and they have this armor on that links up, so they just look like little balls with their arms out, and they roll into position, and they're going to get scooped up and knocked around, and it's going to try and like launch catapult them through into like a basketball hoop sort of thing, and hopefully they hit each other on the way over. Here we go.
This is whimsical.
This is just a flat D20.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so
10.
that's not a critical
Ooh.
failure, but I'd like to use my hero point to reroll it.
Can't.
Maybe
Well,
a
at
heckler?
least-
No?
So that's just a failure, but at least I guess we can send in the clowns for a success.
True,
Uh,
you can.
Sure.
You can send in the clown.
And the clowns come in, and they are making fun, they're sort of dressed like them with fake beards, and they mix around and do tumble salts, and they smash around, and they just get them out of there.
Love it.
So you finish up the circus. The dwarves are excited that they finally got to go. Everyone had a great time. Everyone comes out for a final bow. Although the tent is rocking and it's been raucous, everyone had a fantastic time. The circus was a huge success. And everyone gets the admiration of the crowd. It is quite a successful evening. How successful, shall we see? So you got a final excitement of 33,
Mm-hmm.
a final anticipation of 31, because you did too well. The prestige can't go up any higher. You're at 5 and you're stuck at 5. So you will not increase your prestige. So your payout is your prestige plus your final anticipation.
So it should be 36,
That's
which is
pretty good.
still a really lucrative performance.
Except for one small factor.
Oh, no.
You only get 75% of the maximum for your
Oh, yeah,
second
that.
performance. So your total payout is 27 gold
Oh.
pieces. Because it's the second performance. So as
Yeah,
good
every
as it
performance
was,
gives a less of a benefit. Is that right?
Correct. Yep. Eventually it goes down to 50, then 25, then 0. So you can only perform. If you're in much larger cities, that might not happen, but this city isn't that big. So some of the people were there already and sort of knew what to expect. So that's just the way the system works. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But it's not so bad because the money you get only goes to the circus. So it's 27 gold only to the circus. You can't use it for yourselves or anything. So good job. Very good job. What
Woo!
would you have gotten if you critted? How much more would it have been? I'm just curious.
Go Hap.
Yeah,
Oh, it just doubled.
it
So-
doubles the whole thing, so it would have been a bunch more.
No, it just been about double 27. So it's okay. It's not a massive amount. It would have been a
It's
notable.
important.
Yeah, but you can't even buy higher upgrades, like the higher, more expensive upgrades. So at this point, you're almost just like making money to invest for later. At this point, so
Mm-hmm.
oh, Vanessa's upset. She's like, I wanted to
I
get my
am.
bonus.
I mean, I do, because, I don't know, I'm a power gamer. It's how we roll. I don't know.
You got to think about it like this. Steve is really good at taking something small away, but handing you something bigger later that you weren't expecting. So, just look forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Ataran is just looking over at Hap like, good job, but also secretly terrified that they're getting colder and a destructive phoenix energy is coming out of
Oh,
them that's
no.
going to burn everything away. But good job.
What? Elysius says, "Oh, good job at everyone. I was all ready to send in the clowns if something went horribly wrong, but we didn't need it for the final act. Oh, thank goodness. Good job at everyone. Good job." And she's like looking at the Featherfall 5 after all that shenanigans. She had the clowns ready to go.
Hap, you were very good.
Thank you, Aderon. That was nerve-wracking, but also exhilarating, And we got to watch your performance finally. That was so spooky. I loved it.
Mhm.
Yes, when I can actually weave magic in to affect their minds at the same time, it will be very helpful.
Oh, and Bardoff was so good. He's such a good bear. Did you see him? He was so cute and he did his job so perfect.
You make excellent co-stars.
Oh, it's all him, I promise.
Yeah, I think we all did a fantastic job. Even with everyone who showed up, I still can't help but feel like we could have done even better and had an even bigger payout. Although, maybe it is time to think about moving on soon.
Well,
I mean, when we figure out what happened with those druids, I know Otteron won't sleep well until we know that that they're safe from druids.
it's actually more the mayor left for the Hermitage, and I am concerned for their health.
Shouldn't he have been back by now?
I don't know. How far is the Hermitage from here?
I'll pull up the map.
I thought it wasn't on the map.
It's not on the map, but you know that the Hermitage is only about 12 miles west of town, a bit north and along the coast. So he should have definitely been back by now. It's been several days.
Yeah, well, we should check that out.
Does that mean we can find the Hermitage if we wanted to?
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we know where it is.
I think that's our next stop then, isn't it?
Yeah, probably should be what we're doing.
Well, let's celebrate tonight. We just had another
Yes.
great performance. Oh, what am I doing? Hap runs off, just sprints away. She has to
Okay.
go find the Hoftons.
Oh, okay. You can find them. That's not a problem.
Well, what did you all think?
Oh, they're all super excited, and little girls like, "Oh my God, Hap, that was amazing! Thank you so much for my little Darius doll. Oh, I love him. I'm gonna sleep with him every single night, and I'm gonna act it all out." And she's like pretending he's like a little troll and everything, and she's just like going around, and the parents are like, "Oh, it was wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. This really helps put our mind at ease after everything that was going on, and after being kidnapped by those terrible, terrible creatures." I will say that some of those images I thought were a little too close to home, especially when you were looking like those terrible things that kidnapped us. I was a
I'm
little
so
worried.
sorry.
I was a little worried that our little girl might have nightmares after that, but she seems okay. I think, and she looks at her husband. She's like, "I think we're gonna have the nightmares after seeing that."
Mm.
Well, I'll look at the little one. Well, I promise that if you get any nightmares, you let me know, and I'll come defeat them for you.
She's like, "No, that's okay. Look," and she's like, hugs the little doll. She's like, "Little Darius, he's gonna defeat anything, right?" And she's just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
like pretending she's like fighting
Hey,
with him.
make him put his hand up real
That's right,
quick.
kid.
High fives. Wait.
All right!" And she like this little high five with Darius's little hand.
Yeah. No, I'll mess her hair up. I'm so happy that you guys came. Oh gosh, I'm so glad that you all enjoyed the show. Hey, do you guys want to go backstage and see everyone?
Oh, I don't know. We're kind of tired, and there was a lot of excitement. And the
Yeah,
girl's
yeah,
like,
I
please,
understand.
please. She's like, "Okay, very, very quickly for 5 minutes, 10 minutes at most. We really have to go to sleep. It's late, and we've had quite a long couple of days."
Okay, come on, you guys, follow me. Hey, everyone. Do you all remember the Hoftons?
Oh, hi.
They're all saying hi to everyone. They're like,
Hello.
"Oh, hi, everyone, hi."
Atron bows their head at them.
So how's the mill?
They're like, "Oh, it's good. It's good. We managed to get the mill going again, and we're putting in orders. It's really great. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for us."
Well, it was our pleasure. Just trying to help out folks in the towns we visit, put a little more good into the world.
Yes. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us. And they look around, and everyone's sort of like giving the tour, and you get to see everyone. Axel's there, the professor is introducing to the sideshow, and they've done this before. They actually know the routine. When people come, they know exactly what to do when you have special guests, whether it's like the mayor or whoever. So.
Is it alright if I take the little one to go see Bardoff, my bear?
Sure. He's domesticated, right? He won't do anything.
Oh, he's my
Oh, he
best
hardly
friend.
ever mauls anybody.
What?
That's just part of the act. He's as gentle as it comes. All right, come on, little one. I'm
Atron
gonna take her by the
raises a finger like,
I'm gonna put your finger back down. Little one, come with me, and I'm gonna take her hand. I'm gonna skip away, And then we're gonna go up to Bardoff. All right, Bardoff, new friend, belly rubs. Bardoff rolls over and all right, go ahead. You can rub his little belly. He's very friendly. Go ahead.
Sure. They hazardly rub his belly.
Okay, I'm not gonna take any more time with this. I just had to get that little girl.
Lots of little girl belly rub big bears. Got it.
That's how circuses get shut down.
Okay, so successful circus. Everyone has bacon because that's what you do after a successful circus, right?
Especially when you've killed 3 or 4 boars a couple of days ago.
That's true.
Water, crust of bread, maybe a bit of cheese.
Now that the show's back over, I'm gonna put my black sleeves back on.
Oh, that's right.
What?
You're not quite as cold as before. I mean, you're a little
Okay.
chilly, but you're like, you know, it's nothing major. I wouldn't want
Yeah.
As everyone goes to celebrate, Otteron will start making a blue hat.
Oh,
That's
okay,
cute.
for the snake. Mr. Tickles. Mr. Tickles appreciates that.
Cute.
So does anything special happen, or is everyone just going to go to sleep, wake up, and who knows what comes next?
Well, I want to hear what comes next, so don't have anything going on. I want to hear what's next.
Okay, well, you know, other people come by.
Hey, Steve, I have a question.
Yes.
So, like, in the first show that we did, there was all these things like interrupting acts, and like there were snakes under the stands and drunkards. How come nothing like that happened this time?
Because we took care of the druids.
'Cause you
Boom.
took care of the druids.
There was an actual, like,
Yeah.
conflict happening.
This was the actual circus as it's supposed to go, and I wanted to run it at least once without shenanigans just to see how it goes. So
Okay.
I can very easily add more shenanigans, but trust me, they won't always go this smoothly. But you can't have things go wrong all the time. You need to
Yeah.
have things go right, you know, because you need to have both. You have to balance it out. So
Oh, I agree. I was just curious. I didn't know if that was something that was baked in or not.
it's both. It's baked in. I mean, that actually was baked into the adventure because that was the whole literally the whole first night is what you did. So it's a very long night is the first adventure, the first circus act. But then the second and third and fourth ones, it's a little bit more. There's things that can go wrong, and as you level up, more things can go wrong as you get more advanced, shall we say? So right now, you're still like a level kind of 1 or 2 circus. I mean, everyone else is level 1. You're level 3. You have a prestige of 5. I mean, you know, you're a middling circus. So I
Well,
don't
here's
wanna
another
get
question.
too crazy.
What happens when we are level 10 and we put an NPC performer to go in? Are they still level 1?
Mm-hmm.
You are going to have to start looking for new performers.
I see. So new performers might be higher level.
Yes, or I will put in something that allows them to slowly level up, perhaps as well. The NPCs, there's not really a system for that, but I have some ideas how to make it so that they can kind of keep up with you, but like almost like at a follower level, if you want to use
Yeah.
the analogy.
Mhm.
But a much lower follower, like you know how followers are always 2 levels below, so they're going to always be X number of levels below you. Like they'll never be able to catch up, even close.
We can have them follow us into combat, but stay way in the back.
Mm.
Well,
No, don't do that. They'll die.
that's actually part of, I mean, this is all OCC, but part of the adventure is that you want to look for new people during your adventures to recruit. And that's part of it. You want to actually actively recruit people.
We should get that clown guy.
No.
Yeah,
No.
No.
Yeah.
Why not?
Terrifying. Like,
he's good.
Like
you
I-
like him.
yeah.
Everybody-
great.
We need to have an act of 4, and it's the Mephit 4.
That's pretty good. You
The
answered
4
my next
methods.
question. That was, should we be
Those methods
actively
that we beat
asking
up.
NPCs if they want to join us? And it sounds like the answer to that is yes.
The answer is it will be presented to you. Like as you get more famous, as you get more prestige,
If they actually seem like they have tricks and not just,
Yeah.
they have sheep.
Mhm.
So if there's someone that, say, like we like as an NPC, but stats weren't written for them, are you able to like make stats for them? Like that kind of situation?
there is a minimum of 6 plus new acts per adventure path book.
Oh,
So you will always be able to continuously find more people.
I
And
feel like
they
we've
get
missed some.
Really, you haven't. You started with 6. You started
We'll
with
start with
okay.
6. Yeah.
Yeah, and as it goes on, there's a minimum of 6. So you kind of maxed out for now for this part, but as you continue, and the thing is, they get really weird as you keep going. Like
I like that.
they get really strange. Like I don't want to spoil anything, but it's not your average. Oh, this person juggles fire. They're to be a much higher level, you have to be much more interesting. So they get really cool. You'll kind of get an idea, and I will make sure you are quote aware when it happens. Unless you
Okay.
become murder hobos, you will probably, as if this was a video game, get the opportunity to recruit them. Like the same way that works like in Assassin's Creed or something, where you can recruit people. Same thing. It's like
They can have like a white and red barber pole exclamation point over their head to represent the tent. Yeah,
And the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, you recruited these 4 players because these folks are not capable of murder hoboing. Really. I mean, that's why we're here, right?
I don't know. I think Vanessa can murder hobo with the
That's
best
true.
of them.
That's true.
I don't know. I played in a murder hobo group the other day, and it was, let's just say, distasteful.
I guess I have more questions, but I'll ask them offline unless you want them in the show.
Depends on the questions. I can't answer that if I don't know.
Mathematically, are we never going to have someone doing pyrotechnics because it just makes more sense for the higher level PCs to be doing the acts?
Well, so yes, no, because here's the thing: if we had done what we did last time, and Ataran had decided to do pyrotechnics instead of perform, we would have had like +1 to or whatever it is, like double. You'd had double excitement on your performance on the Flamboni sisters. Instead, they had their own 3 excitement per success. So it's kind of like if you have a bunch of fire performances, then having a pyrotechnic can add a bunch of excitement. And if we have a giant amount, then it might be a better choice to have someone, whether it be them or someone else, be a pyrotechnic. So like the problem we had where we were too high, we probably would have had even worse if they were a pyrotechnic this time.
Okay.
Interestingly enough.
Yeah.
And there's
I
always
mean,
the chance that something can happen that will make it so like, oh, Ataran can't go on, but they are allowed to assist maybe.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, that makes sense
Yeah.
to me. That's a good answer.
Yeah, and other thing is, you can't learn new tricks until you hire people with those tricks. That's actually
Or new
very
trick
important.
traits. Yeah.
Right, the trick traits. So
Oh, that's
there's
important.
There's a whole metagame of that. This is all you know, but if you want to learn a trick trait that doesn't exist, you can't learn it unless you find someone who can teach you it. So, but with that, enough role playing and circusing. Let's get back to brass tacks, shall we?
Yeah,
Hey,
we got some
you-
druids
Yeah.
to hunt down.
You
I
can
throw
role
tacks.
play while you do brass tacks.
Oh, I forgot to say. So Violet and Violet's master, Pruna, Two Punch, shows up with her thugs, and they're having a great time. And it's the same guys that you have molested and beat the crap out of more than once.
Blessed.
A weird
let's
choice
just,
of
let's
words.
just go with beat up. I think that's the word we're
We
gonna
just
go with.
trounced them. We gave them a
Trounced
severe
them. Yes.
justice-laden
Trousered them?
trouncing.
Okay,
Trousered?
you trounce them. You
Trousered.
trounce them.
We
Be
sent them
trousered.
on their ass.
Yes.
I
So-
mean,
But I was using weird.
Ooh.
So anyhow, you see them. They're really drunk and super friendly. And they're like, "Hey, everyone, you guys did a great job." Yeah, they're all super friendly, over friendly to you, hitting you guys way too hard, tapping you. They're like your best friends now. And she goes over to Hap with her goat, and she's like, "Oh, you did an excellent job, Hap. I have to say, I'm not usually into these sort of things, but after you gave us our free tickets, I'm glad we came. Especially seeing you, Hap. You have a real talent with animals, and you know I like people with animals. But you and the bear, I don't know about the other ones, but if you're ever interested in joining me and my crew, I could always use a number 2.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Gosh, I'd love to, but I can't leave my family. And we're gonna be moving on.
Oh, I understand, but if you ever do, because who knows, many things can happen in this world, and dangerous things can always come out in the circus. But my offer is open. Just keep it in mind.
I actually will. That's something I'll keep at the front of my mind. Thank you so much.
Yes. And then she sees all our muggers just drunkenly going up to the bear and trying to play with him, and Bardolph's just fending them off, and
Whoa,
he's
hey,
play with
back off,
Mr.
Bardolph, back off,
Tickle.
Bardolph, back off, Bardolph. One
They're
at
just-
a time,
Yeah,
okay?
they're just going too much, and she's like, "Come on, boys, let's go!" And she just leads them out because it's too much. It's too much.
Okay. Well, that was interesting.
And lastly, the professor looks at you all and says, "That was a great show, everybody. Excellent show, excellent. I was so proud of everyone. We really came together after last week's crazy show." And he's like, we had a really good take as well, but we have to think about moving on. I'm not exactly sure where, but perhaps we do another 1 or 2 shows here just to fine-tune the act, get all the kinks out, maybe upgrade the facilities a bit. But for now, everyone rest and relax, because we have at least a week to prepare. But good show, everyone. Good show. And
Yes, we
everyone's
did extremely well.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Yay! Bacon and sausages for everybody. Yay!
Beer and ale and bacon. It's great.
Water.
Everything's great.
Water and
water.
But you know what tastes good with water? A little bit of bacon juice in that. I tell you, try
A
it.
little bacon water.
Bacon water. It's better than you think.
Is this the professor saying this?
Yes.
Dad, you're not supposed to have that much bacon grease.
He's like, "Oh, we had such a good show, my arteries will be fine." And he's chomping down on the bacon, eating way too much sausage.
Dad, I'm gonna take a piece. I'm gonna take the sausage out of his hand, even though it has a bite on it, and I'm just gonna finish it myself. Dad, just imagine what I would be like if something happened to you. You have to be careful what you eat.
It wasn't the rats or the disease that got him. It was the bacon.
And the professor looks at you, Hap, says, "Oh, yes, Hap, I know." And with that, he takes another link. He says, "Hap, do you mind? Could you warm this one up for me, please?"
Oh my gosh, fine, and then I'll take it, and I'll hold it, and then I'll just warm it up like I'm a microwave. Here you go, Dad.
"Oh, there's my little girl. Oh, that fire does come in use, I tell you. You always get the food the perfect temperature for me."
Mm-hmm.
Adoran shakes their head and will go to their tree.
It's Hap's side job. She can be saucering and cooking 101. No, I gotta think of a better name.
Sausomancer? Sausage
Oh my gosh.
mancer?
Sausage Mancer. I
Or
like
a
that.
sausage dancer. That's
I was
also
thinking-
good.
Sausage
No,
Dancer
no.
Mancer.
Yes.
I was just thinking Grill Master, but
All right.
Sausage Dancer Mancer Grill Master.
Back on topic though, I'm gonna make a skill check real quick.
wait, there was a topic?
There's about to be.
Okay.
She's a sausage dancer. She dances for money.
Ooh, that's a
Check.
terrible check. What did you roll? A 6? What are you trying to stealth?
I follow Ateron to the lonely tree.
And he sees you following them to the tree.
I quickly duck behind a cart.
It doesn't work. They see
Well,
you.
I know, but I still try. I quickly duck behind a cart.
Hap,
Okay.
can I help you with something?
No, I'm just checking on the animals.
Do you need assistance?
Why do you always go to this tree?
I was going to relax and meditate for the day tomorrow. I do not exactly agree with your spellcasting being used to heat food products.
Yeah, Wait, what? You relax at the tree?
Yes,
Can I relax with you?
that is fine. I will write in my journal.
Okay, I'll sit with you and, we'll relax together.
Was there some sort of discussion about sitting with me or something?
Not really, So, a lot of times when we're at the campfire, like at the end of the evening, I have such a good time talking to Darius and O'Hara and to Dad and to some of the other performers, and I just get kind of sad that you're not there, that I can talk to you about stuff too. So, I said, you know what, Hap, next time that Acheron wanders off in a gloomy manner, why don't you go spend your evening with them? And so that's what I'm doing.
It is loud, and they are drinking, and I am awkward and often ruin their fun, especially at times I might be working with Chilagosh on different occult magics, so it might be awkward for them to see.
Yeah, but I'm awkward too.
No, you are good with people.
Well, that's... And you don't think you're good with people?
I can present a good front with people, but I do not necessarily understand the cultural mannerisms of your people easily.
Maybe
so
you don't
it
have
can
to.
be.
Everyone loves you. Maybe you don't have to understand them all the time.
That is good, because I do not.
That's fine, though. Like, you don't have to isolate yourself just because you don't get it. Like, I don't understand why O'Hara has to, throw logs around, but that doesn't stop me from hanging out with her and loving her and stuff.
A couple nights ago, I had candles floating with violet flame as I chanted and spoke to Chilagosh. That might be disturbing for some of the others, yes?
No. There is no yes here, because that wouldn't disturb anybody. We do all kinds of crazy stuff like this all the time. If you haven't noticed, you're in the circus, baby. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. That's why we're the misfits that make everyone smile.
It will get weirder, as I had a similar conversation with O'Hara yesterday, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. It's been a busy few days, but I was telling her that I lost my train of thought. It is difficult for me to understand even where my own power comes from, so trying to explain it to others could be difficult if they
Sure, but
question.
I have no idea where my power comes from either. You don't see me sulking about it next to a soggy log.
I am more comfortable in the woods.
Aderon, why do you say it's gonna get weirder?
I do not know where my ability comes from, and the power is strange at times. Calling on power that I do not yet fully understand, and somehow I get, while corresponding with Chilagosh, who is a conduit for the power, so I expect things to get stranger, just like the spell I cast before we fought the bees again, and I could call on stellar energies to protect myself with extra vitality. It could get even weirder.
I mean, none of this is that weird. I've met a lot of wizards and stuff that have animals that they hang out with and talk to, and that are a little bit magical, even though it really just looks like a bird. How's that any different than Sheila Ghost?
It is not wizardry, but I am simply hoping it does not get malign, but we shall see.
Malign? Why would it get malign?
That is a bigger conversation, but suffice to say, I am concerned some of the power might come from Zon Kuthon.
This is the second time I've heard you say that. Who is Zon Kuthon? And then Hap just sits down in the grass, and grass stains her pretty dress.
He is a deity worshipped by the country I come from, Nidal. He represents very adult topics, but in part survival, which is making him sound better than he is. But pain and harm and life through such, and the lesson of it. It is twisted But he did save the people of Nadal long ago, which is why that bargain exists.
Well, how did you get mixed up with Zon-Kuthon?
I do not worship him, no. But I was born there, and everyone must, in part, say they have some fealty to him, although I did not.
Well, I don't know. It just sounds like you've got a lot of weird questions in the air. Did you know?
Yes.
Did you know that you've got people here who care about you and who have your back no matter what happens? No matter how weird your floating purple candles get. You know we have your back, right?
Yes, but there is doubt.
I'll tell you what. I'll make you this deal. I get that the campfire's really loud and there's a lot of boisterous people and the dwarven throwers kind of like to splash beer on people, quote unquote, on accident. What if you and me and Darius and Alhara, what if we had our own little campfire? Just kind of like maybe at this tree that you like. How would that be?
I would be concerned the segregation would create some perception that you are better than the others, and they might come to resent you.
Oh, well, I don't want that.
I am different than an outsider already. I do not think the others are surprised that I would separate myself from such social activities. But you and Darius and Alhara are family to the circus, let alone you are far more social people.
Hap just gives you a hug.
Ataran, gently, pats you, slowly, but is really, stiff and uncomfortable.
I like you, Ataran. You're a good friend, you're a good sort, and I'm glad that you're part of our little family. And then she just runs away before you even get a chance to respond.
Ataran, is dazed and stunned and just kind of, stares and looks around. And as Chilagosh kind of bends their head towards Ataran just smirks at the raven and then walks towards the woods.
Good job. You're a good egg, Ataran.
As their conversation's wrapping up, Alhara walks over to the tree holding a big jar of pickles, and she's sort of munching on. Oh, I didn't know you two were talking. Want a pickle?
No thank you. I am not hungry at the moment.
Hey, Hap, what are you doing here?
I'm not engaging you right now, Vanessa. I know what you're doing.
What?
Hap ran off that way? And Ataran just points.
Bye, Hap. You're missing out on the pickles.
Let me know when you want to go to the next day, if you are done with celebrations and pickles and bacon for tonight.
Sure.
Lauren is good with that.
It's going weird directions. All right.
Ataran is terrified of future conversations, but...
So, party goes long into the night. Everyone wakes up with a bit of a hangover the next day. And you once again are greeted by a familiar face, and this time it's actually the priest from the church.
Sorry, you said this is next morning? I was looking at my spells.
Yep. So next morning, priest shows up, Nelendren, and he says, "Oh, that was such a great circus last night. I came, I saw it. Really something spectacular. I was very, very impressed. I was extremely impressed of how much money you were able to make from all those fans. I had to take some notes. I have to learn about all these interesting methods for my priesthood. Anyhow, I just wanted to come to you because there's been some rumblings, and with the sheriff dead and the mayor missing, I guess it falls onto me, being the next highest community leader, that I would come to you and tell you that there's been rumblings that people are worried that they haven't seen the mayor because he left from the Hermitage nearly a week ago and still hasn't come back. Everyone's worried, and with everything that you've been doing for this town, we didn't know who else to turn to. You've been so good
Yes,
fighting demons.
we are already going. We are going to go.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's
We were-
so nice of you.
We were just talking about it last night, actually, that, it's been a while since the mayor said he was going to go check on those druids and hasn't come back, or at least that we've heard.
Yes, we should check in.
In fact, if the mayor does return while we are gone, you should be wary of demonic influence.
Oh, yeah, we're going to try to set up some kind of watch of some sort. I'm not sure what we can do if we see demons, maybe hide in vaults, but at least everyone's aware, and that's part of the battle right there, is knowing is half the battle, right?
That's what they say.
That's what they
G.I.
say.
Joe.
What?
Yeah. The other half is violence.
Extreme violence.
Well, we've got both, I think.
So, something else that was a little odd I wanted to tell you is that every couple of weeks, the Hermitage comes to Aberton in a battered cart to purchase supplies, food and writing materials. But they haven't been seen in over a month. So we're very
Something
worried
is
that
amiss.
Something is amiss. Darius, you are an astute one for being so large. Maybe you have a big brain too, as well as a big body.
It's well known that the brain is just a different type of muscle. And look at all the muscles I have.
I hear it's the biggest muscle.
Yeah, he hides
There
it
you go.
behind his thick skull.
You have to hide it in a very safe place.
Yeah. And then he goes on to explain how you can get there and that it's, 12 miles west. He does explain, he's like, I do warn you, no one's ever really gone to the Hermitage. They're very secretive. In fact, the only one who's been there on a regular basis is the mayor. But from what I know is that it's right on the cliffs by the water so they can worship their god. You know. The Hermitage of Blessed Lightning, blah, blah, blah.
What if the mayor's secretly a druid too, and he was just trying to escape to his people?
Well, that's really disturbing, Hap. Thanks for putting that image in my head. Well, hopefully one way or the other you'll come to the bottom of it and find out. But why? Are druids evil? I mean, sure, that little one, she was kind of crazy and she brought demons with her and destroyed my church and almost killed you all, but they're not all bad.
Druids are not evil, but they are representative of nature, and that can be dangerous. However, I would not expect demons to be something that they would cavort with, no.
True, there's not much profit in nature. Well, anyhow, all I say is, do any of you worship Gozra? And he looks around, asking if any of you worship him. Them, actually.
Ataran shrugs their shoulders.
Gozer's the nature deity? Storms and lightning and stuff?
Not my thing. I'm a Kyrgyz girl.
I don't know a lot about Gozer, but I would kind of like what they're all about if it weren't for all these druids trying to kill us.
I am actually eager to cast a spell that I have learned with Chilagosh. It should give me some idea of what power gives me my abilities through him, but I do not think it is Gozra, no.
Well, anyhow, just wondering because it is a Gozra temple. What about you, Darius? What do you worship?
I worship at the altar of friendship and family.
Darius is a heathen.
Heathens. You know what they say. For every heathen is another person that I can convert.
No,
That-
You know
it's
what?
fine. I
Good
respect
luck.
your choices and I respect your dedications, but people should believe in themselves more than those that quibble above.
Trust me, I've been down this road with him several times, and if there was any deity in all of the cosmos that he would bow down to, it would be Kyrgyz. I mean, the guy's called the Strong Man, and look at Darius. It's practically the spitting image of Kyrgyz himself. So, if he ain't going for Kyrgyz, he ain't going for nobody.
Is that
I
the
don't
way?
need a god to tell me how to be healthy and how to use my strength.
It's not about telling you how, it's like in celebration of it.
I celebrate every day. Every day I'm celebrating. I don't need to follow holidays, a church. No. I do what must be done for the right reasons, and that's it.
Is that the way deities work? Like, you have to bow down to them? You
Yes,
can't just,
that's
like,
worshiping.
be their buddy or something?
Buddy? I don't think that's how that goes.
I mean,
must
maybe
worship.
if you worship Caden Kalian.
I think all of them are different. Some of them are, like I told you yesterday, Hap, far different than others.
Yeah, in that conversation, that one definitely sounded less ideal.
Alteron nods.
Which one?
No,
Hmm.
no, it's nothing to worry about.
Well,
What were you two talking about?
We're talking about Abadar, right? That's his
we-
name, right?
we
Right,
can
Father?
talk about Abadar.
Yes, Abadar. Why, Miss Hap, would you be interested in finding out more about Abadar?
Alteron
out
takes
more
out the
about
pamphlet.
The House of Gold and Laws?
I am interested in finding out more about, like, myself and what it means to be spiritual. But Abadar seems like he really likes money, and I couldn't care less about money or rules or laws or things.
I see. Perhaps Abadar is not for you, but that's okay.
I just
Hmm.
want to put something beautiful in the world and make people smile. That's really all I care about.
In this case, Hap, perhaps then Darius Aha and I can keep your portions of things we find or receive.
Or better yet, you can donate them to the church.
Which
Alteron's
church,
actually
Father?
smiling a little, like, I have a joke. Yes?
Oh, oh. Well,
Yes, they made a joke.
as long as you spend it on something for me.
Nellon's like, oh, I don't think that joke was funny. We
You shut your
always
mouth.
need fives, and you have done excellent here. That was some circus last night, and there was a lot of damage to the church. We really could use a little bit of coin to help rebuild the church. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but
Ask
You
you
should
know,
have a
God.
fundraiser.
That's an excellent idea. You're going to put on a fundraiser for us?
No,
Thank
you're going to put on a
so
fundraiser for you.
much. A circus fundraiser. We can raise so much money. Rebuild the church. I'm envisioning it now. This is a great idea. Thank you so much for
Have a
putting
law
that
sale.
idea in my head. A circus fundraiser for the Church of Abadar.
well, thanks so much for visiting, Father, but we really have to get ready for our trip to the Hermitage. It's going to take a long time. All right, come on, Darius. Come on, Alhar. I'm going to start pushing them away from him. We got to get ready. Let's go. Alteron, you two,
Oh,
come
you
on.
sure? You sure?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, and
Sorry.
don't forget about the books. Don't forget about those books. I need
We
those
won't.
books if you
Yep,
find
we'll
them.
look for the books. They're very important, obviously.
Alteron nods.
Good. I'll start. I'll meet here with the professor and figure out the fundraiser while you're gone.
Yep, that sounds great. Bye. Thanks for visiting. Bye.
Alteron follows behind the other three and just bows their head to the father as they head off.
Oh, you have to be careful with them druid types, not druid types. You have to be careful with them priest types.
Aha!
Oh, you got me. You're gonna have to be careful with them priest types. They're gonna trick you out of your gold if you're not careful. I tell you.
Especially one from Abadar's church.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
So it's early in the morning. You feel okay. It's 12 miles, so about a day probably, approximately. It's a bit rough terrain.
Like half a day. We move pretty quick.
You do move pretty quick. Actually, none of you are slow. I forgot none of you have like slow movement, so you should
Yeah.
be able to get there pretty quick. However, you do know from what he describes that this place is literally in the middle of nowhere. So whatever you have is what you're going to bring with you. So with that in mind, is there anything more you might want to pick up or sell before you go investigate the Hermitage?
So I have 2 scrolls of heal left. I think that should be fine. The only other thing I'd say is we should get the very boring extra trail rations, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, we should definitely pack up on rations because we don't know how long we'll be away from civilization.
Freshen
I'd
up the
say we
meta
should-
kits.
Yeah, I'd say we should definitely stock up on healing scrolls and healing equipment. Just because we don't know what else we're going to find.
Well, do we want to get 4 more healing scrolls? I like having too many healing scrolls.
I also like having too many healing scrolls. What's our
Yes.
party gold situation like?
I'm looking
mine.
right now.
Because I think my personal gold is it's 1 whole gold piece.
I have less than 1 whole gold piece on myself.
Yeah, we is poor.
Luckily, druids are known for hoarding money, right?
What?
We wish. We've got. Well, you took the scarf. So if we sell the jewelry plus the coin purse, that's 25 gold right there.
It's 4 scrolls.
So
Sounds good to me.
Then we just, I don't know, pocket 5 and party loot.
scrolls are 4 gold apiece.
Ah, that's 5 scrolls. But I still think we only need 4. So we'll pocket, be 4, 9 gold. Pocket 9 gold.
Yeah, I mean, the way I treat it, anything that's, quote, jewelry or gems or treasure is just gold. I'll just make it gold. So you
Yeah,
had the savings, which was 11 gold, and then the treasure, which is 14. So you
yeah.
got 25 gold from the Hoftons. Don't forget, you can sell that dancing scarf for 30 gold.
Shush.
No?
You rascal, you.
You can always buy it back. I think there's like a loan shark around here.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, just go to the pawnbroker. You'll get it back.
Hey, listen, I can dance if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It ain't no friend of mine.
I wasn't going to finish it, but I knew someone.
All right, so 4 scrolls a heal.
What do you mean I'm not your friend? Hold on now. We've done this for a long time.
I'm just singing a song.
It's you can leave your friends behind.
If it makes you feel any better, the bracelet of dashing is worth 29 gold. So you can sell that too.
No thanks. I am quite fond of this bracelet.
You've never used its special ability, by the way.
I mean, I haven't, but we haven't been in a situation where I really
Yeah.
needed it. Especially because Alhara is already stupid fast, so I could use it and then be stupid fast. I'm sure there'll be a time where it's like, okay, you see them 200 feet away, and I'm going to be like, great, activate the bracelet and freaking run. And then I was like,
Were we buying anything but the 4 scrolls? Maybe.
Whatever. Medical. Tell me about medicine kits. Do we have to refresh them or buy a new one every so often, or is it just more like you've already spent it? They're constantly there. You have it.
They're constantly there. They're not like thieves' tools.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. 2 for Hap, 2 for Otteron.
Sounds good to me. So we both have 4?
Otteron will now have 5.
Oh, I don't.
that sounds good.
Well, how come
That
you
sounds
get
good.
more healing scrolls?
Because you burn things.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
that's
Yeah, you
100%
burn.
why.
But now I'm jealous.
No, you're fine.
Be jealous, but burn things. Write in your
Okay.
write in your journal how jealous you are.
I am burning with jealousy.
Debuff and buff.
Wait, how many does everyone have?
I have 4 now.
Otteron has 5 now.
You have 5? I had you as 2.
I had 2, then Hap gave me 1, which brought me to 3, and now I get 2 more, so 5.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're right. I didn't
Yeah.
update you.
Alhara has, in terms of consumables, 2 holy water, 2 lesser alchemist fire, and 2 minor healing potions.
2 holy water, 2. You have 2 lesser alchemist fire? I thought you had
Mhm.
1.
2.
Did you make those or
No, we
find
found
them?
them.
Sounds like you're forgetting a lot of
We
our
bought the
stuff.
Alchemist Fire on April 26th.
Yeah, we bought them for the wasps, but then didn't use it all.
We also found that ring of wizardry that I've been wearing the whole time. That was on April 26th also.
Otteron is going to suggest buying some lesser antidotes to fight against poison.
Oh yeah, those tricksy druids. That's a good idea.
Because
That is a good
Otteron knows druids.
Well, we have 9 left. How much are we spending? Oh,
I don't know.
yeah, we used all of our antidotes, so we would definitely need more.
They're
Yeah,
all
definitely
gone.
do that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
used all.
and they're what, 3 or 4 each?
Mhm.
They're 3 each. Otteron didn't use their antidote, but
Okay.
Okay,
So
that
then
means
we
we
could
can buy
buy
3
three.
more.
You did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You used the one that you found.
mm,
You did. All 4 of you used them.
Well, we can still buy 3. We can still buy 3 regardless.
That's fine. We'll get 3.
when did I use it?
The last fight, right before the fight, right before you went after the hornets, you all drank.
I thought we all drank it too.
You did. You did. I noted that because
I did.
There's a reason because yours was different than everyone else's, so I marked it off on my sheet.
But why
Is
did
everyone-
Otteron drink it?
We all drank it.
They all
Precautions.
did. You all did. All 4 of you drank yours.
Okay, I didn't intend to, but that's fine.
Yeah, you did. All of you did.
So the question is, which one of us is going to not hold an antidote?
I guess me.
Who has the best fortitude save? Maybe that's the person who shouldn't.
Doesn't usually matter.
No, because the person with the best fortitude save is getting poisoned the most.
All the time, yeah.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true. All right. Well, I
Alteron is
think
famous for staying out of danger, so if they don't have
That's
one, it's
true.
probably the best bet.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I thought I hadn't taken it even, but
I said that we all drink it, so I probably
Yep.
just spoke for us and shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at that. I'm very good at that.
Hap went along and forced him to drink his antidotes when he shouldn't have.
All right. So then, Atron will be the one who doesn't hold an antidote. The rest of us hold an antidote, and that is all of our money on consumables.
when I die of poison, you'll know why.
Hey, I'm the one with like just a ton of healing if need be.
Poison.
That's the problem with my characters. I'm having trouble figuring out, like, I need to do damage, but if I do too much damage, I can't do the healing that is also needed.
Yeah, you need to kill
That's why
things.
you got the scrolls.
All right, so I'll settle that up, but so noted on this sheet. All right, so Ahara, Hap, and Darius get an antidote. Ataran will spend their own money for an antidote. All right, so now Ataran will have an antidote as well.
Okay, you all have antidotes.
You've been listening to Roll for Combat 3-Ring Adventure, a Pathfinder actual play podcast. If you have a question or comment for the show, please visit us at rollforcombat.com. You can also find us and play various games on our Discord channel at discord.rollforcombat.com. You've been listening to Roll for Combat. Until next week, always remember that the producers of Roll for Combat are not responsible for any listeners who begin attending satanic cult meetings after being exposed to role-playing.